Today, in our continuing series with the Florida Chamber of Commerce, our guest is Bob Grammig. Bob is a partner at Holland & Knight Law Firm and a member of the Florida Chamber's Board of Directors. Bob, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Bob, let me put a little information into the minds of our listeners here for just a moment. Florida, folks, is a global economy. In fact, Florida, if it were a country, would be the 19th largest economy in the world. And according to research from the Florida Chamber Foundation's Trade and Logistics Study 2.0, the global economy is expected to double in size over the next 20 years, with more than 1 billion new consumers by 2020. Bob, what does Florida need to do to continue to move in the right direction and become the number one state for global trade?
Well, there are really three things that I would suggest that the state needs to focus on. We need to emphasize moving more trade through our seaports and air gateways. We need to have an emphasis on moving more imports directly into Florida and better balancing the inbound and outbound trade flows, for one thing. The second thing we need to do is to make, grow, and refine more products for export from Florida by expanding export of Florida-originated manufactured goods, agricultural products, and other natural resources. And the third thing we need to do is to multiply the impacts of global trade in Florida by providing value-added services to trading businesses and our trading partners around the world by expanding our role as the global hub for visitors, investment, and talent.
Bob, I think a lot of people see international trade as something that only larger companies really need to worry about or engage in. What's interesting to me is that 95% of our state's 60,000 exporters are small to medium-sized businesses that produce about, two-thirds of the Florida total export value. So how can Florida and the Florida Chamber, more specifically, continue to support and advocate for small businesses in this specific arena?
Well, there are a lot of things that we can do. One of the top things we can do is to continue to identify and eliminate legislative and regulatory impediments to international business. Big businesses can, in many cases, take care of themselves on this, but for smaller businesses, it's very helpful to have an organization like the Florida Chamber to help drive the necessary changes. The other thing, in general, what we want to do is continue to support the governor's strategic emphasis on trade and logistics, expansion of our seaports, improvement of our airports, which will facilitate smaller exporters to have access to those international markets. And the last thing is generally to provide continuing support through trade missions and export promotion activities to various trading partners around the world.
Bob, the Florida Chamber is going to be hosting an event coming up soon. The annual International Days comes up April 7th through the 9th in Tallahassee. Why do you think business leaders benefit from attending an event like International Days?
Well, a couple of things. One, business leaders will hear from top international trade experts and thought leaders when they're there. And many people in this state underestimate the scope of our international business. There's more than $60 billion in exports that we do, and small businesses I think will find it especially useful to learn about the programs that the Florida Chamber as well as the state and federal governments have to assist their international efforts.
Bob, thanks so much for sparing a few moments of your time. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just a couple of facts, some information that you might find interesting, folks. Florida is home to 1 in 5 of the nation's exporters. Florida companies now export more than $60 billion to more than 225 trading partners around the world. 60% of Florida's total exports and imports flow from Latin America and the Caribbean, yet only 1% of national trade with Asia is Florida's. Florida's top exporters are Canada and Brazil. For the Florida Chamber of Commerce, I'm Preston Scott.